Well, my name's Jason.m4v, and I live in a town called Norwood, and it's just outside of Lakefield, and I live there with my wife, Amanda, and we live above a funeral home, just like Ewan's mom and dad and brother and sister. They live here in Lakefield above a funeral home. So.
What are your favorite places in our neighborhood?
Well, my one favorite place is Pizza Hut. I love going to Pizza Hut. I'm sure.
Me too.
Yeah, you guys like Pizza Hut?
Yeah.
Yeah? And I like going to Tim Hortons. And, oh, is that a good one?
Yeah. I love Tim Hortons.
Yeah?
Every time I get a coffee. I like coffee.
You drink coffee?
Yeah. I eat donuts.
I like donuts.
I eat extra large.
An extra large.
So I don't want it.
Attaboy. And I like going to the hockey arena.
Oh, I
And,
know.
yeah? And I like going to the churches in Lakefield as well.
I do too. Why are they your favorite places?
Okay. Well, I like going to Pizza Hut, just like you guys like going to Pizza Hut and Tim Hortons, because
I like getting stuff.
we like getting pizza, because we like to eat pizza. And I also like going to those places because I get to see a lot of people, and I get to sit down and talk with them, and I get to meet new people, and it's good to meet new people, make new friends, and
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
sometimes even become your old friends.
That's right, exactly.
I want to see TJ at, what kind of a job do you have?
Well, the job that I have, it's a very special job, and it's a very, very important job, and I'm called a funeral director. So, what's your next question there? Yeah, hold it out so I won't get in there.
Where does your job help? How does your job help people?
Well, my job helps people because sometimes when someone has died, then people come to me and people like Ewan's dad, Scott, and we help people plan a funeral for the person that has died. And a funeral is a time when everyone comes and gets together and can say their goodbyes to the person that has died, and also see the people, their family, and help them and to support them. Okay, because it's a very sad time sometimes in people's lives when someone dies. Okay?
What do you wear when you go to work?
Well,
What you are wearing right now.
what I'm wearing right now and what Ewan's wearing right now. So Ewan has his own funeral director suit, just like I have my funeral director suit, and his dad has his funeral director suit. See, when we're all matching a little bit today. We're all wearing a little bit of pink. We all wanted to wear a little bit of pink. But it's very important for us to all look good all the time. We always have to look good. This morning Ewan came down with me and we shined up our shoes together, right? We had our hats on, and we put our suits on, and our little puffs in our pocket, and that's what we wear to work. But we always have to look nice. We always have to be nice and clean.
He had one of them.
Well, kind of just for decoration. Make us look even better. So that's what I wear to work every day.
What does that big word say?
This one? Visitor. Good job. Number 7.
Do you need to bring any special tools or special things with you to do your job?
Good job. yeah, we have a lot of different things that we have to bring. And I'll tell you a little bit more about them. But some of the things that I use in my job are a lot different than a lot of people use in their jobs. So, you ask me the next one, I'll tell you about it.
What kinds of tools do you need and use for your job?
Well, like I was saying, the tools that I use in my job, they're a lot different. It's not like a hammer or a screwdriver or something like that. The one thing that I use is I need my pen. I always have to have pens, okay? And the other one here is this little booklet. It's like a little file. But one of the most important tools that I use, and again, it's not a tool like a hammer or something like that, it's my ears. My ears are my biggest tool because I have to listen to people and I have to help them, and you always have to listen very carefully to what someone's saying. And then once they tell me different things, then I use my pen and I write it into my file. Then the other tool that I have is my computer. Do some of you have a computer? Yeah, everyone has a computer, of course. Well, then I take all that information and I type it into my computer. And the other tool that I have is my phone. I always have to have my phone at work, not at school. I always have to have my phone because people need to be able to phone me all the time. So Ewan's dad, he may need me, so he just calls me, and then I come and help out. Those are my tools.
Do your what?
No, this one here, you're on the right one.
What are your responsibilities or duties?
Well, I have a lot of different responsibilities and a lot of different duties. My one responsibility and the most important responsibility of mine is to help a family when someone has died. And I help them plan a mass. And you all know what mass is. Yeah. But it's a little bit of a different type of mass. And this mass is for the person who has died. Okay? So that's my biggest responsibility, is to help a family. I'll show you. It's got this is my business card. And it's got the funeral home there. And it's got my picture on the back. And that's got my phone number so then everyone can phone me. So that's my biggest responsibility, is to help people. Okay? And then there's other responsibilities, and sometimes Ewan helps out with these responsibilities. He helps us clean. We have to make sure that the funeral home is clean. And all of our cars have to be clean all the time. And they'll have to be nice and shiny. And we have to cut the grass at the funeral home. And then at the end of the day, when the day is over, then sometimes Ewan will come down, he'll have his suit on, and we have to turn all the lights off at the funeral home, and we have to lock all the doors so it's nice and safe inside. So those are my responsibilities. Okay?
What kind of building do you work in?
Well, the building that I work in, and it's also, this is where Ewan and his family live. They live above the funeral home. Okay, so it's a very, very special building. And it's a really big building, and it has a lot of big rooms in it. And those rooms are for people to come to the funeral home to say their goodbyes to the person that's died. So, and this is the funeral home in Lakefield. So all this is all the funeral home. And then over here, this is where Ewan and his mom and dad and brother and sister live. They live above the funeral home. Just like my wife and I, we live above the funeral home in Norwood. So that's the funeral home in Lakefield.
How does your work help make God's
Well, our job is really important because we help people that have died get to heaven after they die. So once they die, we help them get to heaven.
Do you have a special car?
We do. We have very special cars. And that's one of the reasons that all the cars always have to be nice and clean. But one of the cars, this is just a small version of it, but it's called a hearse. And it's a very, very special car.
Does the hood open?
I don't think it does.
But I think the back
But it's a
opens.
very special car. It's a big car. And sometimes you'll see it in Lakefield. But what this car does is this car helps take the person who died to church, to St. Paul's, for the funeral mass. And then after the mass, it helps take them to the cemetery. And the cemetery is a place where the person that has died is buried, but it's a place where people can go and visit the person that they love.
Did you learn your job at school?
I did. I had to go to school. I went to school for 2 years. After I was done this type of school, I went to a special school in Toronto, big city where the Toronto Blue Jays and Toronto Maple Leafs are. And that's where I went to school to learn how to help families plan a funeral. And that's why it's important to stay in school and do your best in school, because then when you're all done, then you get to do something that you love to do for the rest of your life. Okay?
Is the door open?
Well, the back door opens, I think.
Yeah.
If I can get it. See? There's a
It's a
back
good
door.
positive message.
Cool.
Pretty neat, eh?
I think
points
there's
for that.
somebody in there.
No, there's no one in it right now.
And we're not allowed to play with it.
That's right. That's because it's a special, special car.
It's a more.
Do you like your job?
Well, I do like my job, but I actually love my job. And I like my job so much because I get to meet a lot of different people, and I get to help a lot of different people. And I know Ewan likes to help us with our job, and he's really starting to like our job as well. So it's a really, really good job. Because it's, when someone dies, it's a sad time in their life. But myself and Ewan's dad, we can help those people. Okay? And it's always good to help people. It makes you feel good. Right? We're good? Good. Thanks, Ewan.
That car looks like a truck. That car looks
Yay!
Yeah, a little bit like a truck.